And just to expound upon previous thoughts in the previous video, in this fourth section, and just to get a little deeper so you can get a sense or see the direction that this high frequency is actually heading in. This high frequency here is to destroy basically the house of consciousness, because we emit our consciousness in any such way, and we do this by emulating a response from something that triggered you in a previous mental state. So your mental state gets triggered by things externally and internally simultaneously, so you can't really comprehend where the consciousness is coming from. Just like you can't say that a deaf person can't verbally communicate, or a blind person can't see what you're seeing. I mean, it just doesn't make sense in the long, or in the grand scheme of things. It's just not gonna, you're not gonna win that argument. It's a battle between good and evil, and there's no real rest for consciousness. And the good and evil battle, or the good and evil argument, just again decrepits or depreciates or undermines the consciousness that is being housed, again, where all the people come and go. The people come, to meet and sort of like bless each other, meet or pick each other up or uplift each other, or however you see it. How you see it is how you see it, but I'm telling you how I see it right now. Like, the consciousness is being housed, and it's slowly deteriorating, like the Grand Canyon was deteriorating with waterfall or whatever. Just look at, the argument of good and evil, or like ill will, or any type of willingness to do anything, whether it's to take like a vow of silence. Like, there's people who have been documented to take vows of silence, and for many years, many decades. So it's not to say that these people weren't verbally communicating to people, because that would be virtually impossible. It's just sort of impossible for an animal not to make noise when it's being physically touched or harmed, or something like a human has its hands on it. So it's just that type of argument. It's not really like there's no fallacy in logic or intelligence. You can't really say that just yet. And if you can, please do. Please leave a comment and just let me know. And I also wanted to say peace to the God. So I mean, that's where we're at. It's young and light in there still, but I'm still trying to change my ways up, so that's going to eventually lead to a name change. And I'm still well into my youth, so I'm trying to take full advantage of how much consciousness I can actually house, so people can come to me or come and go to me, or walk away from me as they please, and not cause so much basically deterioration with all of these other doctrines, or this education, this way of communicating, this language, however you wish to see it, however you want to put it. It's just your pain. So your pain is your pain, my pain is my pain, but it still doesn't, there's still no ramification on how, like, who's really painting the picture. That's why I say peace God. Peace God being the androgynous, hermaphrodite, male or female God, whatever it is, just God. So I mean, God doesn't have to be a male bound title. God can be, a revelationary state, or a revolutionary state. I want to say revelationary state, so I'm just going to say revelationary state. It's just the way you have these revelations, and these revelations lead to one thing. You could say, well, I'm in my, this is just where I'm at. It's just, you're going to be putting earthbound titles on whatever you wish to put on. But then again, remember, though, I mean, you have to remember, you're obligated to remember that it is your duty to follow through with what you are proposing that you are, or how you come. Like Kurt Cobain, like your boy Kurt Cobain said, "Come as you are, as you were." So what that basically is saying, I mean, not to I'm not even gonna break that down, but I mean, just to break it down, like, your coming to this channel or you're listening to these words right now that are coming out of my mouth, and you're getting something from that which you already had possession of, like another thought. I mean, you only really have possession of thoughts. I mean, if you don't have, if you have possession of anything, you have possession of your thoughts. You don't really have possession of these cell phones, or whatever it is, what have you. Your food. I mean, who could say that they really possess the food that they have? The food that people possess is really like what's going to nourish them. And you have to remember, you have to and just to get it all calculated, you have to be not only physically nourished, you can't be physically malnourished, or you can't be physically nourished and psychologically malnourished and be like a functioning individual. You're going to be dysfunctional. You're going to be looked at as dysfunctional, and that's just the way this earthbound business, or these titles, are going through right now. So any channel that you go to, any place that you wish to receive your information from, it can obviously get not defined, but I should say, as a diamond gets fined out, like you fine a diamond. I don't really know how you say it. Like you shave a diamond so it looks perfect and pearly and everything and shiny and everything. That's basically the way these channels get extorted by other people's thoughts. So people possess thoughts, and then they come through in the comment section or whatever it is, what have you. No real God or person is housing a consciousness so powerful to actually change or disrupt anything that is not really already going to be relative to nature, or what is already happening in the world or the universe as people see it. So whatever people see is what they believe, and what people believe is what they perceive, and that is how they see the world. Like seeing is believing, sort of thing. Everybody wants to talk about, well, you're just making stuff up, or people might say to you, like, stop making stuff up, or people might say, you're just a dreamer, or that's make-believe, or, be more realistic. People will say, like, be more realistic, and there's nothing really about being realistic and not having a conversation. So when you're having a conversation and you're starting to relate to someone, and you don't really have, like, say you did take an oath of silence, or like you took a vow of silence, and you said you're not gonna talk while this other person's talking, or you actually like told this person that while I'm having this meal, it's like a cultural thing. Like a lot of cultures don't talk while they are eating, so you could say like, well, I'm not gonna talk while this person's eating. I'm just gonna listen, and you say that to the person, and the person just speaks their mind, and you're just gonna notice that it's just thoughts, and all they really do is possess thoughts. And when you perceive the world, or when you believe the world to be as it is, just in these thoughts, these ramifications of thoughts, and nothing really other than architectural designs, or